Okay, so today I am going to go over a list of some examples of things that some people experience over the course of their lifetimes and have trouble forgiving themselves for or letting go. Um, I tried to be realistic, and here we go. So, if you take a look here, our first example is I didn't help my brother when he was in a fight getting beat up. By the way, that's not true for me. But these are the types of things that as you grow up, you magnify in your mind, right? You have trouble getting over. This is an example that didn't help my brother of something that I can't undo it. I can't go back and change what happened, but I can make the decision to, if I ever see a loved one in an altercation again, to have a plan of action ready to do what will best help them. Um, I won't make that decision for you what that plan is. I have my own thoughts on that. But at the end of the day, because you can't change how you handled it in the past, you have to change how you handled it in the future. And you have to forgive yourself for how you handled it in the past. The next one, if we take a look, I lied at work about stealing office supplies and let someone else take the blame. Again, this is one of those where maybe if you still work at the same place, you can rectify the situation. Maybe you cannot. It just depends. But at the end of the day, let's assume you've since moved on. That was years ago. You work at another company, but you know that back in the day, that person got fired because you let them take the blame. What you could do is you could reach out to them, give them your deepest apologies, and maybe see if there's anything you can do to make their life better today. Maybe they're in a bind and you can give them a little bit of financial assistance. Maybe they're looking for a new job and you've got some contacts you can put them in touch with. Just some sort of retribution that feels good to you that, will help you forgive yourself and move on. The next one, drank too much at a party and embarrassed my friends by behaving inappropriately. I think plenty of people have experienced that one. That is one of the biggest. You just have to let it go, right? Apologize for anything embarrassing you did. Forgive yourself. Let it go. Now we're moving to another type of example. Caused my parents to get a divorce. This is one of those where you have to reflect upon it and you have to retrain yourself to understand you didn't cause your parents to get a divorce. You did not, right? They made that decision. They had their own interactions, their own relationship with each other that, for whatever reason, evolved into them moving towards a divorce and getting a divorce. These are the types of things that we blame ourselves for that we shouldn't blame ourselves for. Maybe we blame ourselves for it because we had a parent who said, this is your fault. Well, that's not fair and that's not right of them. And you have to recognize that and let it go. You have nothing to forgive yourself for. In this case, you'll have to forgive whomever made you feel like that was your fault. And if it was no one but yourself making you feel like it was your fault, you have to retrain yourself to believe and to understand that you were not the person responsible for how your parents, how their relationship evolved, and the health of it. Next one, couldn't convince my mom to let me stay with her when my parents got a divorce and I had to go live with my dad. Again, this is one of those situations where it may feel like something was wrong with you because your mother made you feel like she did not want you. But it is time for you to reflect upon that and begin retraining yourself to understand that it had nothing to do with you. Your mother was in whatever frame of mind. She could have been grieving. She could have been, she could have just been kind of a not stellar parent. She could have been disconnected. But whatever the case may be, this was something going on in your mom's heart and mind, not yours. You were fine. You were a kid, right? Maybe she didn't want the responsibility. That's not your fault. So you have to focus on retraining yourself again to understand not your fault, out of your control. Let it go. Don't beat yourself up about it or blame yourself anymore. Let's see, I saw this one quite a few times. Dropped out of college without telling my parents. Okay, I might have done that. And kept accepting money from them anyway. I did not do that. but I saw plenty of people doing that. And I see people today who still haven't forgiven themselves. Well, if you want to feel better, Apologize to your parents if you haven't already. And guess what? Give them money, right? Take them to dinner. Buy that big screen TV they want. Whatever the case may be. If you don't have any money to spare, well, that's okay. Make the commitment to them and to yourself that when they can no longer take care of themselves, you will do whatever it takes to take care of them. Find a way to, again, serve some retribution that will make you feel better. But know that you've got to let it go. And if letting it go means apologizing and doing something nice or spending money on them, whatever the case may be, that's what you need to do. Now, here's one that's more day to day. Told the yard guy that I can't afford to pay his normal rate because I'm a struggling single mother when I actually can afford his normal rate easily. This one's easy to fix. You go to the yard guy tomorrow and you say, hey, I can afford your regular rate now, and you start paying him the regular rate. You have pride. You don't want to swallow your pride. Don't tell him you lied. If you want to go all out, complete humble pie, then let him know, hey, I wasn't honest, and here's an extra couple hundred to make up for, paying that lower rate in the past. Depending on the guy, chances are he may say, oh, that's okay, I don't need that. Thank you for paying the regular rate now. There's no telling, right? But the thing is, sure, is it risky to eat some humble pie and throw yourself out there and make yourself vulnerable by exposing what you feel bad for? Absolutely. It's challenging. It's scary. It's risky. But at the end of the day, if they reject you, if the yard guy says, you know what, screw you, I'm not doing your yard anymore, at least you did what was right. And that's what you can comfort yourself with. You won't feel bad about it anymore. You'll just go get a new yard guy. Right? If your parents say, don't spend money on me, I'm still mad that you did that, took advantage of us, but I don't want you spending your money on me. Okay, first of all, that means they definitely love you because they understand that you can't afford to spend money on them right now. But the other thing to keep in mind is that it means they've already forgiven you. You're the one who hasn't forgiven you. So again, these are just examples. It was actually a little more challenging to think of than I thought because over the years I have sort of practiced what I'm preaching today. And once you are able to, go through these situations and ask for forgiveness or forgive yourself, you kind of forget about them. So when you try to think of a list later, it's challenging. Now, some of you are thinking, well, that's amazing. I wonder what that feels like. You'll know what it feels like if you just go get her done. You can do it. We can all do it. So this is Cassandra. I hope this was helpful. Again, you have things on the list that aren't on my example list, and I probably have some things that maybe you're familiar with. Good luck. You can do it, and you will feel exponentially better for doing it. Take care.